I guess we are live. I guess we are live. Okay. Cool. So, hello everyone. Welcome to the live streaming and welcome to my channel. First of all, right? Thank you for joining this particular live session. I hope you all are doing well and good, right? Cool. So, in this particular live session, what we'll be doing is we'll be designing up the whole end-to-end investment banking solution. Okay, and this particular thing has been onto my mind since like pretty long, because the thing is that in YouTube I didn't find any perfect video for investment banking purpose. So that's the main reason I decided to do just a quick tutorial for this, right? So that's all from my side, right? And coming back to the part that what we will be doing and how the things it will be, right, is that we will be coding up this whole project within the Java, and the framework that what we will be using is called as a Spring Boot, and which is specifically being used in many of the investment banking industries. If I can call the name, there are n number of things like Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan, and Morgan Stanley. I have been closely working with them as well, right? So this is some of the things which I wanted to highlight from my side, and we will be using the front end technology as called as ReactJS. So we can use the Axios, and I don't know like how the things are going to change while I will be typing out the code, but let's see how it goes. Okay. So first thing is that let's do the system design for this investment banking application, like how the ports will be, what we will be opening. Are we going to deploy this whole particular project with Azure DevOps or CI/CD pipeline or AWS code pipeline, or how this thing is going to be look like? So let's first do the model diagram, okay, the high level design, the HLD and the LLD, and then we can move forward ahead, right? So I'm just okay, so let me open Safari. So whiteboard online. So let's do the system design for this one, and let's just explain everything. I personally use Miro, but let's see how it goes here. Okay. Okay, so let's get started, and let's see how it goes. Okay. Cool, right. So the first thing that what I'm going to write here is that it will be the technical stack of the whole project, right? So technical stack. Let me make it big. Okay. So technical stack for the whole project will be looking something like this. Okay. So we will be using the Java. Okay, and we'll be using Java, Spring Boot, and then we'll be using the H2DB. After that, we'll be using ReactJS as frontend. So frontend we'll be using ReactJS, and I can use Axios. Let's see how it goes. Okay, let's see how it goes. So optional. In place of Axios, we can use any of the libraries, like any of the React hooks, right? So now we will not be taking on to look at that. And for sure, this is the part which I want to code. It's called as MyBatis because there is no perfect YouTube video which I have seen. So yeah, and yeah, I may be wrong also, but like, come on, right? Okay. So this is the technical stack for the day, right? Okay. And yes, in the Spring Boot we will be creating the CRUD APIs. So let's see how the CRUD APIs can look like. Okay. So yeah, now let's come back to the thing that how the CRUD API will be going to look like, right? So let's see how it goes, right? So okay, so let's start with the block diagram. So this is the investment banking solution, and this solution will be having the entities. Okay, and the entities will be of two types. Okay, so the first entity will be the user, and second will be the based on the role. Okay, and this entity, what the entity will be doing is that this entity will be doing the investment, right? So this will be doing the investment. So that's a process investment, and this investment is actually of suppose 3 to 4 types. Okay, and this investment is of 3 to 4 types. So the user first should authenticate to do the investment, right? So again, there will be two particular blocks here. That is called as post API. That is slash API slash users. Copy. Why the paste is not working? Second. Okay. So this will be the same thing here. There's slash API slash auth slash login. Okay, and the investment entities, like in investment class, will be having again some features that which we can discuss. Okay, and those features are management of investment. Okay, and under the management of investment, what we can say is that there will be some endpoint called as get slash API investments and post slash API slash investments. Okay, and get slash API slash investments slash ID slash API slash investment slash ID transaction. Okay. And like, see, once we have got the investment, right? Once we have done the investment thingy, right? So then what is left? We should manage it, right? So this management of investment particular thing will be coming as once the investment is added to the portfolio. Okay, so added to the user slash role portfolio. So then we have to manage the portfolio. So here comes the next class or entity, as we call it as management of the portfolio, right? So let me just pick up and block. So this will be coming as management of portfolio, and yeah. So this management of portfolio will be having again like some of the APIs that is called as get API slash API slash portfolio folios. Okay, and post portfolios. Okay. So, and now we are left with the transaction. So then again we have to manage the transaction. So this part is a transaction block. Transaction. Yeah. And the transaction, the block in the transaction, what it will be having is the get API and the post API, right? So the get will be slash transactions, and this will be slash API slash transactions with ID. In case I want to just update any of the transaction, right? Alright, so this is the the high level design, right? So this part will be coming in the Spring Boot part for sure, like this whole thing, right? So this part I can consider as the backend part in the whole summer thing, right? And okay, so this part is the the backend part. Okay, so that for that what we need as a Spring framework. Okay, and this will be the layer, and the layer that what we will be doing or calling here is the front end layer for sure. So this becomes the front end part. Okay, so front end part, let's see how it goes, right? So front end part will be comprised of ReactJS, right? So front end part will be having 3 to 4 particular verticals that which we should be very much concerned about, and those verticals are this one: user interaction, user interactions, okay, why this not being copied or pasted? Okay, and this part will be the API requests, and this one will be service layer. Error handling, response handling, whatever you call it, right? So okay, so this part will be the DB, right? So this DB I am not going to call it onto the production, so I am just making it as H2DB. Makes sense? Cool. So now the thing here is that the H2 database will be having some tables, right? So let's decide the ideas for the table, how it's going to be, how it's going to look like, right? So let's go and decide that. And uh, like for sure now I can visualize that like the user table will be there, the portfolio table will be there, but I don't know, but like let's see how it goes, right? So here it will be the table for like schema design. Let's call it user, and this user table will be having some characteristics called as ID, right, the primary key, the ancient terminology, username, password, email created at. Okay, and the second particular what we are going to have is portfolio, and again it will be the ID, portfolio ID. So this will be the primary key for it. The user ID, name, created at, foreign key with the user ID. So reference ID, right? Because the foreign key which is in the portfolio, it will be coming here as the foreign key, right? Makes sense? Cool. Okay. Now after this thing, we have got two more things left. That's called as investment. That's called as ID. That's portfolio ID. In which investment we have, in which portfolio we have done the investment name, amount of investment, risk level, right? And this will be the address created at, and foreign key will be portfolio ID reference portfolio ID. Transaction type, type name, right? So that's a particular transaction type. Then after this, it will be the description of the transaction, right? So let me make it like this. Okay. Now the last table that what we will be doing here is that it will be the transaction type table, right? So it will be the transaction table. So this is a transaction table. So the transaction table will be having the first of the ID, investment ID, transaction type ID, transaction date, foreign key, investment ID, ref, investment ID, and these is the foreign key. So this is transaction ID, and this is transaction ID too. Yeah, so these are the references, right? Cool. So this is a high level design actually, right? And again, like if you can ask me like one particular question, that why you are using the H2DB, the reason is that in H2DB we have got the facility of to write the schema files that is called as data.sql, and also we can define the pre schema for it. So we can have two particular files that is called as data.sql and the schema.sql as well, right? Okay. Yeah, so I hope that is making some sense, right? So okay, cool. Now we can start with the coding part, right? Yeah. Yeah, so I hope we can start the coding part. So okay, so let's get started. So I can assume the screen is visible, right? Okay, cool. So let's go to Spring initializer. So this is one of the thing that you can take a look for sure. That's initialize the Spring project. So this will be the investment banking live session. Investment banking clone. So we can include the Spring Web, GPA, and MyBatis, Spring Data, JDBC, actually we don't need it actually, because help address से हमें चाहिए भी नहीं actually. WebSocket, Kafka, Spring Integration, Neo4j, H2DB. I think we are done. Yeah, cool. So that's it, right? So I will be clicking on this thing called as generate, and it has created a beautiful investment banking loan zip file, right? So this is how it is going to look like, the zip file, right? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to fire up the IntelliJ and just unzip the zip file and drag and open up the IntelliJ, and and here it is how it's going to look like, right? Okay, so here I am having all the memory dependencies. The connection h2 pv MyBatis spring framework haven't, right? Okay, so I will be going to this main.java file, and this is the, so I am just going to run this particular Spring application, okay, and let's see how it goes. So what say 22 not compatible, open process settings, now make it 22 21, right? So let's download that. So it will take some time, might be. So it's alright. And oh yeah, Tom's card server started on 8080 default persistence. Yeah, makes sense. Cool, awesome, good. So now we can start up the Spring Boot project, right? So we can start the coding part. So let me just do one thing. Can I just drag the whiteboard here so that I can see all the things, right? Okay, cool. So now what I can do here is that I'll just close this one, so the whole thing is visible. Okay, and okay, what I can do first, I can run a database. Okay, let's do one thing. Let's play some songs, right? Let's get started. So src main resources, under the resources I will be creating a new file, and that's what it is. Good. And this is the dummy data which I'm going to paste it here. Okay. So see, actually it's portfolio name. It's the same that what we have done here, right? So let's start creating of the models, right? So first of all, we're going to create a package called as models, and the second package will be controllers. Let's going to model package and create a new class called as user, and underneath, sorry, what's that? Yeah, and underneath the user class, portfolio, investment, transaction type. Let's go transaction. So in the user, let's go into that. In the user, I will just writing that entity. So ID generated value strategy generation type identity. So username, generation type, auto identity, private long ID, generation value strategy. Let's throw up another. Name private timestamp created at and the same goes for investment here as well. So it will be the ID, so ID, portfolio, name, amount, risk level, and created at. So transaction type, we will be having only 2, and this we can also add entity, So transaction we will be having entity, and we will be having as ID. Okay. So then we will be having as generated value strategy as generation type as identity, and private long is right, long ID. So private long investment ID. Okay, cool. So here we are having the third package that is called as repository. Now in this package we are going to have three classes, right? So three classes will be user, repository. So user repository, portfolio, and it's called as transaction type repository. So this repository will be actually be an interface. Okay. So if I can remove this and make it portfolio transaction user. So user will be an means every repository is an interface which is extending from the JPA repository. So JPA repository, and the first will be the user, right? User comma, second will be long. Okay. Now this user is actually the user class, which is in the model class. Okay. So see how it actually performs, right? It's an interface. As we want to as we want to hide the SQL injection or the query, and this interface will be extending from JPA repo, and two params. There is first param, it will be user, second param it will be long. Okay. So again it's an interface. So let me check portfolio, right? Sorry, it's a portfolio here. So interface portfolio, so it's going to extend JPA repository. Portfolio, comma, long. Okay. And this will be the C. Actually, this first parameter is the primary key. Okay. So it's the first parameter is the primary key, and this is the data type of primary key. Okay. And transaction type again, it will be going to extend with the JPA. So here it's going to be the transaction type And which data type have you given? Long, right? Yeah, long. Okay. So that's it, all the three repositories has been created, right? So after all the repositories which has been created, so we need to update the services, right? So we'll be creating one more class, and that is called a service class. So sorry, this package service. Okay. And within the service, we are going to have one Java class that is called as user service. And within that, we are going to have one more Java class called as portfolio service, right? So see, actually Spring Boot, the new version, it's pretty decent, right? One second. Yeah, cool. So we just annotate all the service class with the annotation of called as this one, add service. Okay, this is called as auto-add. So private user repository, user repository. So create some method public. The return type will be list user get all user. Okay. So return user repository dot find all. Yeah. So public user create user return user repo dot save. Okay. So portfolio service, then it's coming as auto add. So private portfolio repo, portfolio repository. Okay. And so public list portfolio. No, it will get out portfolio, right? So the yeah, just command. Yeah. So this will be get all portfolios. Return portfolio repository find all, and public portfolio create portfolio. Return portfolio repo dot save portfolio. Okay. Let's try. It is working fine till now, right? Initialized JPA Tomcat. Okay, so let's rerun this. Definitely there will be no particular output, but let's see how it goes. Okay. No, not value, password not null. What's that? Okay, there's some problem in the SQL statement. Okay, we'll check that afterward. Okay, but yeah, So what I have done till now is that we have just created the investment banking portfolio and uses these things, right? So let's see how it goes, right? So this is the data and that's the schema. Let's now run it. This is big integer is a problem. Right. Let's rename the class. Let's run the application. Oh. Okay, so now it's working fine as because the user keyword was actually reserved, right? So I told you like life is hard. Here we have to like debug the things real time, right? So let's create the controller request mapping. API/users. Auto-wired. So private. Service. Get mapping, public list users, get all users, return service dot. Yeah, and after this we are going to have the controller, portfolio controller. Actually, portfolio controller will be actually like the same, right? Sure. I hope it's okay. Cool. Let's read on the application and I hope everything is working, right? Yeah, everything is working, right? So what we will be doing now is after this thing, we'll be going to the application.properties and we'll be creating configs for h2 database. String dot h2.cons. Actually, I can copy this with the documentation as well. Right? I don't remember h2 database docs. Cheat sheet installation tutorial. One second. Yeah, got it. The DB user DB around a DB URL. Okay. Yeah, h2. Okay, cool. So it will be h2.console enabled equals to true. Okay. Spring dot data source dot URL jdbc h2 mem test db dot driver class name org dot h2 dot driver password init cl now I need to check this is right or wrong. What's the default password? What's my default password for h2? So it's not null, right? Password not required. Okay, cool. So let's rerun this and check if the database schemas and everything is going fine. No problem. So let's check that, right? Okay, so I will be opening the application now, which is, shall I open it? Safari. Okay, let's open up the application now. So localhost port number 88/h2-console. Okay, and we're going to click connect. I've got our app user. Okay, so select start from app user. Investment. Cool, so I think everything is working right. Okay, cool. So now yeah, database already exists, right? Yeah. So we don't have to see if you are writing this particular thing, right? We don't have to write this thing. Let me show you in the schema or in the table. Like if the app's user service, sorry, if app user service app user table exists, do drop it. So we don't need to write that particular thing, right? Alright, so I hope that's clear, right? So now what we'll be doing is we'll be creating on the front end, right? So front end will be creating from React. So what we can do now is okay, so like how to integrate, how to integrate ReactJS with Spring Boot. Okay, how to fetch data from an API, that's not required. I think you should try this coding with Spring Boot controller. Cross origin 3000, yeah, it's required for the thing, but that's fine. So the backend Spring Boot src main, this and push on the application, yes. Okay, and things that he has done. I will. Okay, so let's start the front end. Let's not go here. Let's keep it here, right? So what's my basic understanding? What I have got is, first let's do the design for the front end. Okay, so now we are doing the front end design. Okay, so front end design. Okay, so in front end design, what my understanding here is that if we have got the base URL, right? So all the exposed API are in localhost port number 8080, right? So localhost port number 8080, and whatever the APIs which I have created are slash user slash portfolios, right? And so and so. Right, get it, guys. Okay, cool. So now tell you what we will be doing here. See, so there will be src folder. Underneath the src folder, we are going to have the components. We are going to have the user form .js, portfolio form.js, investment list.js, just right. So let's see Axios. Axios I can handle better. It's my personal preferences actually. So we are in the Axios lib. For API handling. So let's start the coding part then, right? So let the backend be running, right? So let the backend be running. We will not be disturbing the backend, right? So what I can do here is that I can go to the terminal and I can go to this thing. Where is that? So I will just copy the path. Where is that? Copy path, open in, find terminal. Okay, so I do have npm here. Oh, I do have. So I will have ls here. I will then okay. Mkdir. So investment banking front end. CD investment banking ls. So here I will be typing npm npx create react app. Actually I have done wrong, right? I have to cover from this data. I have to cover from this data. So rm investment banking, rmdir investment banking ls. So I will be writing create. So create. So npx create react app investment banking front end. Yeah, so underneath that we are creating, yeah, so that should be fine. Okay, in the meantime, just let you fill the water bottle. Okay, just allow me 2 minutes, please. Yeah. Yeah, cool. Right. So it's mm, cool. So React application is now up and running. I will be opening VS Code. Okay, so let's get started. And now I will be opening one more terminal. I can recite it like this, right? Okay, so I will be opening one more terminal. Usually popping up here. Then I will go into the downloads folder, investment banking solution, investment banking, and install Axios. Oof. So now what I will be doing, so where is my this folder? So I will be just making an file called as components, and under the src I will create api.js. So user form, so portfolio form.js, investment list.js, transaction list.js. Let's see if Axios is there or not. Cool, Axios is there. Awesome. So const API. So this will be the API base part, right? So API URL HTTP localhost 8080/API. So export const fetch users with arrow operator. So return axios.get. So I will copy this multiple times. Fetch users will leave at portfolios. Portfolios. And this I can copy here. Create user. Post portfolios. So this will be the user entity, taking out the param and create the portfolio. Portfolio. P will be small, P will be small, P will be small. Okay. So then I will be creating the component called as user form. So I will just say importing React and use state hook. So import create user from API. API const user form const username set username password set email async e dot event default const user await create user so return on submit so handle submit. Holy crap. Okay, so here we will be having three particular entities, so that is called as input, type text, placeholder, username, on change, object captured in E, set username, e dot target value required. Okay, and this same logic will be again for the password set password e dot target. This will be the placeholder type as email address. So set password, set email, and lastly we'll be creating a button. Right, so use an button, type, submit, create user. So this is actually the post data. Okay, and lastly we'll be going to export the default. So export default user form. I hope that is fine till now. So what we'll be doing is now we'll be going to the portfolio. So portfolio we can fetch the users and do. So let's do the import React use state the logic for the use effect. So const handle submit async e const portfolio user underscore id await create portfolio, and we are going to pass the reset form or success. And now we are going to return form on submit. into the select whatever loading is called as option डाल देते हैं इसके अंदर value select user, because we have already added the users in the DB, right? So users dot map option key form factor, how it's going to look like. Change, right? Okay, so we're going to export default portfolio form. Now it's coming as investment banking list. So import React. Use effect. State import fetch portfolios const investment list with an arrow operator, and it will go as const const portfolio set portfolio one second use it, yeah. So const get portfolios equal to async So const response await fetch portfolio and set portfolio response dot data. Then get portfolios, right? A function call. And after this, we are going to just type it like this. Return div h2 portfolios unordered list portfolios map Oh, lastly, we are having the transaction list. So transaction list will be, sorry, it's not a transaction list, right? Transaction list. Okay, transaction list, I'm keeping it empty for now. So I'm going to this one. Okay. As all this. Okay, what we can do here is that import React, import user form, import portfolio form, import investment banking list. So this will be my favorite const application, then the arrows, then return investment banking, so user form, so it will be the portfolio form, right? So user form, let's put it capitally only, right? One second. Okay, now the first one is used. Okay. So we have got errors in portfolio form. So let me check the code for that. So okay. Okay, so install HTTP stream. What's that? Is that the component? Cannot resolve HTTP. So in the whole project, the HTTP which I've declared is here, right? Yeah, that's fine. Streamlit. Somewhere we have imported this one, right? Okay. So let's make it like that. This is the thing, right? So it has necessary. And the other function is right? Okay, cool. So we have got this thing. If you want to include polyfill, you need a callback. Okay, that's saying install polyfill. Okay, let's just Google this thing. This okay, cool. So let's do one thing. Let's I guess how many React applications or how many terminal I'm running here? It's 2 terminal, right? Okay, so let me do one thing. Let's just open this. Sorry, this one. So I need to install npm install stream http. Then I have to install React app reward save dev. So okay, sorry. So in this config, where is that config file? Oh, sorry, package.json, right? So beneath this file, I will just create a new file, and this new file is going to called as config overrides.json. I'm going to start up the application. Okay, so I'll go to package.json, then I will go to scripts. So React app rewired start. Okay. So it should table users not found. Let's make it as get all portfolio. This is the error, right? Okay. Let's fix the backend, then we will be coming to the front end part, right? There is something wrong with the user. So let's add more classes here. I will be importing everything from Jakarta, right? Okay, So then I will be fixing of the repo class. So I will be going to again user repository and user repository extend JPA user. Really user or its app user. Okay, so here will be user find by username. So that's a string username. And let's come to the service class of user. There is only a problem with the user class only, right? So let's remove this method. So public user create user. Okay. So this one return user repository dot save user. So the next two method I will be just copying from my documentations. Okay. Okay. Then there's one related problem. User import user. Do I need to change anything in the controller? No, right? Yeah, so that's the thing we have to remove. And I guess now we are done and good to go. And let's change the schema one more time. Where is that? Data.schema. So inserting to app user. I have got two fields new and create table. That's the app user table, and I have created those two new fields. Let's hope this should work now. So debug mode enabled, and no MyBatis mapper. What's that? Let's find user by username. No property. Okay, so let's do one thing. Let's take a look at the code one more time. Find by username, it's in repo, right? That's what's the problem here. Ensure that the method is exactly user. Yeah, it's fine. Make sure you have user repo. Okay. Can I just, I don't know, make it same only, right? Okay, start it. Now let's go and refresh this. Okay. Get user. Okay. Okay. Okay, so I have just hit the URL. Let's see the controller. Use a controller. Get all user. Where is the user? Okay, so let's modify the controller. Rest user controller. Do service get mapping. So here I can just type a list of users. Custom user service dot get all users. And I can south user. Response entity is okay. Users Let's try and give it a try now. Okay, so let's. Okay, so there's initialization complete, explicit rendering. Okay. So if I will be going here, it's printing something. So this is the thing that what we are getting in the log, right? So let's do one thing. Let's go to the user and let's create. Can we add something like this? Add data. Data was there, right? Okay. So let's create the getter considers. So let's create the getter answers. Let's now hit it now. Okay. Cool. So now we are getting up the response. Now let me show you the response. If I will be going up here and guess so these are the users that what we are getting, right? So okay, so let's do one thing. Let's create and get ancestors for the model class as well. So generate getters and setters for all of the thing. Transactions, generate getters and setters. Transaction type, user transaction type, getters and setters. Okay. So that's it, right? Okay, cool. So let's rerun the application and let's see how it goes. So this is it. How it's going to look like, right? Let's try some other API endpoints as well. So what are the other API endpoints we have? Investment portfolio, we portfolio controller. So we need to create I forgot to add the controller. That's good. So I really forgot to add the controller. Okay, that's strange. Let me check. It was there, but I forgot to add it. So I will be going back to Postman one more time. Get our portfolios. So it's sorry, what's get portfolios, right? Usually APIs less portfolios, right? So that, yeah, now it's coming. There was some typo or whatever, right? Declarations are already generated, right? So now what we will be doing is that we will be adding up the correcting of this thing, right? So the backend is working fine, and the only thing is that we need to just do something for this one. So let's open the VS Code. Hope this is fine, right? White level page error not found slash error. So slash users is working. Slash portfolio. Sorry, it's again the typo. Portfolios. So that's working. But we have what's error in investment list. It's saying error in investment list. Okay, let's go to that investment list. I don't know from where it comes. One caught error, network error. Access real-time bundle. It says working fine, right? Okay, select user. So suppose username as ID, email 123, email as ID at mail.com, create user, so network error, handle exception, what's the console log error, allow access control is blocked to the error, and log by the course, no worries, allow access control, okay. So it's coming as no policy or no access control is there. That's fine. It's the common error in API. So what we will be doing is that we will be just enabling the course, right? Okay, so this error occurs when you have rented his application. It tries to run the bottom without appropriate permission. So we need a course in which we add a course. Actually, what? Okay. So can't we do something like this, that we can enable cores in a package, and let's create the package here. So this, what's a config package? So inside the config package, let's create a Java class. So it's the web MVC configurer. Sorry, it's not the name. FIG. Let's rerun the application. What's that? Cannot find path model config overrides class stack. I don't know what's this. Shall we close the session? So CD investment banking, CD investment banking. Input start. Cannot find request tag model not found. Okay, now can I do the npm install again? Let's do the npm start. What's this? Just delete node modules, delete. Yeah, this is fine. Okay, let's delete that. This is the ideal solution for every application which is not working correctly after a certain point, right? So we're going to delete node modules, delete package.json. Missing script, which one we want, it we have run. npm install. start, right? Missing the start script. make your favorite package. Okay, let's check here. Okay, now that's became a problem. Trash bin. Where is my bin now? Npm install should work. Missing start script. So I need to find the version for React. Just rewind. It's 2 point. Okay, so let's do one thing. Let's get the package.json. Just gathered here, right? So node modules is the delete task. but it's again the same module not found. It's configure it. It's fine. So let's run this command. Cannot find module config overrides. It's under the SSC. Okay, so ls nano config override start JS. Start. I will start at the server. Round with compilation. Double quoted. Package.json. Double quoted. 913. I don't know. Is it due to this one? No, I guess. Expected double quote property. What is that? There are boarding JSON administration. Look on line number 21. Oh, I don't know. Let's do this one, I guess. It's not coming anything else. Okay, we'll check. Okay, it's coming. Portfolio. Select user one. So that error. Okay. Cool. So somewhat it's said at mail.com. So now let's debug the thing. Public constraint index 7. request processing failed. Unique integral parametric evaluation. Okay. Username null first. I don't know. Okay, so what should be the portfolio? So get all, create portfolio, and 1 second. Okay, then go to the user, model class, service class, repository class, service class, controllers. So according to the controller, let's do one thing. So let's modify the user page actually. So user form. Okay, so addition of user is working, right? This is what I have added, right? So addition of user is working, and okay, so get all users button in ReactJS frontend. So this is the user list. I'm putting all the users, right? So 1 second. If I'm going to click on that, it should show in console, I guess. Uncaught promise. What's that? So if I'm clicking on the button, it's fetch users. Wait, I guess this is the endpoint, right? That's working. This is the endpoint. So this is set user. That's fine. Just print the data. Right? Cool. Right. I think I have to put console.log because something, right? Response.data. Right. So here we have got the user side. It's fine, right? So now what we can do is that we can move ahead and do the what's that? Get all portfolios, right? So get all portfolios. Get out. Where is the button for get out? So we'll do an inspect here. So console.log response.data. This worked, right? Sorry, that's a user one. There's a retirement portfolio and this, right? So now I guess this is working fine, and now what we will be doing is addition of user is working, and addition of user is working, right? So we will be going to second. Get all user. Why it's coming like this? 1 second. Just come with this one. Let us remove this one, right? So get all and this one. So this is Okay, get all user and get all portfolios is working. So I'm going to addition of user is also working. So so now we will be coming to the H2DB in Safari. So I was just going to grab this thing. So let's connect to it. Grab this thing, and this is the portfolio and the transaction type. Investment ID. And this is the investment. Yeah, this is the investment within the portfolio. Okay. Of each portfolio in association with the investment name. So if I will be clicking on this particular API, then what's the response I'm getting? User 1 return on portfolio, user 2. Okay, so these are the portfolios A, B, and C. Okay, and 1 second. Transaction type buy sell. Okay, STID investment. App user is just what we have created, the dummy one. So select start from investment, portfolio. So portfolio ID number 1 is retirement. Okay. Okay. And if I'm going to investment and name portfolio is 1 to okay, retirement. Okay, so investment A, investment B, investment C, investment D. Okay, cool. So now what we can do here is that I will be just going to here and I will create now all the APIs for this particular schema. Okay. So investment repository we haven't created. Investment repository and interface extends JPA. Transaction type controller. Investment controller is still left. Investment controller. So investment controller we can. So that's controller. Cost mapping. Provide. Cat mapping I can copy from here, right? fall into the rabbit hole. Yeah. So we have got transaction type, transaction controller. We haven't. Transaction type controller. So let's create an transaction type controller. What the fuck is this? Wait. Transaction type controller. That's controller. Just mapping. Slash API slash transaction types. Autowide private transaction type repository transaction type. Okay, now I'm going to create transaction controller. Transaction controller will be something like this. Transaction. The transaction repository hasn't been created. So transaction repository. So it's again an interface which extends transaction long transaction repo get mapping transaction request the entity. Okay, and that's all what we have got here. Okay. Controller transaction repository transaction type transaction investment controller. Okay. So now what we will be doing is we are going to create individual components for this, right? So before that, what I will be doing, I will just be getting onto the one of the particular random URL. So it's investments. One second. So it's the investment controller, investment, carousel, everything is there. Investment controller. Okay, cool. So investment controller, role request mapping. application. Run the application. Now I can see all the investments, right? So transaction controllers, if I'm just making it called as transactions, I can see all the transactions. Controller investment. Okay. Schema, data, portfolio controller, that is working, right? Okay, so I don't need to configure all this, right? So now what I will be doing, I will be creating the investment, like I have created already the 3 components. So I will be creating the investment component, and then transaction type component, then transaction component, then yeah, that's it. So the 3-4 components I will be adding, right? So first component, let that be the investment component, right? So investment list. Now investment list, okay, I'm not going to touch this one. Investments.js. So right, so I'm going to start the thing is import React. Effect. Investments. Investment. Set investments equal to state. So const fetch. I think so try catch error. Then I am going to just do the use effect. So const response equals to, and let's copy the thing from set investment, right? Right, so let's copy the thing from there. Let's make it like this. So if that is throwing up an error, then what I can do is that I can just directly copy this one and paste it here. That's it. So wait. Okay, and after this thing I need to have the return div investments. On click fetch investment, refresh investment. Actually, I have written something wrong. So last bit will be export default invest. Okay. So now let's go to transaction type. Transaction type. Types. Use effect. Used. Import Axios. From Axios. Transaction types. Transaction type set. And copy from the other one, right? So here it will be use effect will remain the same, right? This thing I had to change, so I will be making it to the last one. Let's not change it. Now run the React application, and I hope that's working now. Start inputting the thing. So let's make it user form. Right? Yeah. So it's a form. Then it will be portfolio form. Okay, user form. हटा देते हैं, right? So let's time I get the portfolio form, right? So what we will be doing is import based on form investment. Then we are going to do transaction. Okay. So transaction type, portrait. What is saying? La 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 fine. See, the error is coming in investments. One second. This is the problem, right? Yeah. Yeah, now it should work. Investment, oh wait, okay. I don't know what's the problem, but it should not come like this. I'll try without access then. Why to make it even async? Can't I make it a simple function like this? What's the error? Cannot read undefined one. Let's go about transition type. So the transition type what's this? Bundle cannot read map. What's this? Isn't it calling anything? Not game. For this cannot read property, this thing network error, that's fine. What? Okay. I don't want to do any change here, right? let's do one thing. Let's do that in user. What is that? User form. User form. What's this page? Okay, it's calling a map. Let's remove this one. Come on, it's fine only. I know it's fine. Cannot read property of this one undefined map. Let me Google it. starts working, right? Transaction type investment is investment. So investment rate. Cool. So what is left now is in the context of this is we have done the get for all, right? Let me check the controller get mapping. So in this we are having get user by id. Okay, so create user and get a user by id. Makes sense. So we will be adding two fields in the front end for this. Okay, so users are required. Okay, so what we will be doing, we will be a typical user is required first name, last name, email, password. 1 second. So let's say the schema. First name, last name, date of birth. So this is the field, right? We will create a post we will create a form in front end and post and hit the data with post API, right? So post API is hosted on user control. And post mapping, and yeah, that's it, right? So let's see the schema. Let's create a form. Where is the VS Code? So this all things are working, right? So we will be creating one more component or the post components, right? So underneath the post component we will be creating the post users dot js. So intentionally what I'm going to do is I import react state user const username set username equals to state okay. So this is password, the second will be password. So set the password. Second will be email, so set email. Second will be first name, so set first name, and this will be last name, so set last name. And individually this is what how it's going to look like. So const handle submit async with an exception t e dot prevent default const user, so username, password, email, first name, last name, name and will be capital, right? Date of birth, so this is a try block which will get all the way creating a model, right? So after the try block we have got one more const for the form, and we have got the return type here, right? So what's this? 1 second. So we have got the return type here. Okay. And I don't think so that is fine yet. Export default post users. So here I can just write the post users and let's see how it goes. Username 123, password at something.com, first name, blah blah blah, last name, create user. So let's check in the h2 if that's greater or not. So let's hit the connect and let's see. First name, last name, I guess it's done, right? So first name, last name, and the date of birth is not given. So that is again the typecasting thing, but okay, fine, that's we get corrected. So this is the creation of the user, and that's it. We need to create the transaction type. That's all that, right? Cool. So now see, actually it's moreover done, right? Whatever we have discussed now. So like we need the API documentation for this, right? So for that what we can do here is that let's just remove this one. So Swagger configuration Spring Boot. So we need, so let's set up the Swagger UI. API docs, we need the docket, Spring Fox, one simple config class, and my application is there. Okay. Swagger configuration. got this dependency and go to the form. So replacing the maven. So go to the spring. Where's that? So ready enable swagger 2. I will rerun this application and let's see if that's working or not. Cool. Class what content was that? Okay, I can pick it from my old project. Okay, let's go pick it from my old project. That is Swagger UI. This is the actuator. So where's the Swagger UI doc? Okay, it's up and running. So these are all the transactions what we created, right? So get all users. Okay, so get user by ID. So it's the portfolio, and portfolio we have created 2 transactions. These two, right? We can create more in the coming up part of the video. But this is how it's going to be. So these are the user schema, right? Whatever we have created till now. Okay. So cool, that's all from my side, everyone. So I hope you all have enjoyed it, and in the next part of the video we'll be covering up the React frontend more, and we'll be creating more APIs, methods to be very specific, and that's all. We can call it a project then. Okay. So thank you all. Let's call it a day. Thanks all. Bye bye. Take care and enjoy yourself, please. Thank you.